give me everybody. I said, and he said, there's someone. One of them is in the bush. Oh, should I call him? He said, come back, call him to come in here. It said, but until he gets here, we are all standing up. We will not sit down. I pray for all of you today. Someone will send for you. And until you show up, they will not sit down. They will not rest until you show up. That is my story. That is my story. That's the beginning of my success story. Right? I was working in NIT as a young employee. Don't know how many of you know the NIT. So the National Institute of Information Technology. So they do a whole lot of, IT trainings and all that. And in my, beginning days, a lot of people forced me not to take that job because they wanted to pay me 20K. So do not despise the day of your beginning. But I just like, in my heart of hearts, I knew I wanted to do something like this. I did not study IT. In all humility, I did not study IT. I studied marketing, and I schooled in River State. Funny enough, River State Polytechnic used to be Bori. I don't, Kenneth, whatever they change it into. Yes, so I know Port Harcourt very well. I know that the bulk of you are in Port Harcourt, and I just decided that I would take that job. Everybody around me like, you spent how many years in school, done this, done that, and you want to take the job. I said, within me, I know that I want to do something like this. Allow me. So the first thing I'll say to all of you is have a mind of your own. Know God for yourself. Have a system where you hear God for yourself. Taking that job at that time, so I was, I wanted to follow the crowd. It was the banking days, the banking boom. All of my friends, they were getting these banking jobs, 250,000, how many thousand? And I was like, oh God, I was like, so every banking interview I wrote, I went for all the banking, everything. But guess what? They were not. I will scale every test and everything. But when it comes to the final interview, somehow they will not take me. Somehow, and I was like, God, you hate me so much. Oh, look at this, my friend that's not as, brilliant as me. These bankers, the FCMB, First Bank. Like, why is my own story different? I didn't know God was preparing me for a time like this. And 2 years, 3 years into those people getting those jobs, they started firing. Banking problems started, and they started firing them. Do you know that some of them came to my employment? Do you know I paid some of them? Do you know I still assist some of them because they lost their jobs? So many things happened. So right now you are there, where you are doesn't look like it. Look, there is something somewhere that you are not looking at. It might not look like it, but if you dig deep and if you're convinced that this is what God wants you to do, hang in there, stay there, and do what you got to do. Because looking back now, I thank my days. I thank that day I sat down there. I thank the day I collected that job, because everything you see about me today goes back to that my first job, where everybody says that job doesn't pay well. You want to be poor for the rest of your life. That job sent me abroad for the first time, all expense paid trip to India. And that was where my story began. Thank you. I hope this introduction is not let's go to the business of the day.
If I leave Coach Joyce now, she will continue from there.
Thank you.
Coach Joyce, I have some of my people are asking if you are Nigerian. I have like 3 persons that asked me that question before now. Please let us know where you are.
I don't look like Nigeria. Yes. No, I'm a Nigerian I'm from Delta State. I'm East Soko. My name is Ogogo. So if you can pronounce Ogogo, that's my name. I'm from East Soko. So yes, I'm a Nigerian. Proud Nigerian.
All right. So we don't want to. Okay, your people are greeting you. Soko Wado, they are greeting you here. We don't want to assume. We don't want to assume that everybody is familiar with the word inertia, because the topic is overcoming inertia. Please tell us, what is inertia? What is it about?
Okay, so inertia is that, simply put, is that thing that wants to stop you from getting to your destiny. that thing, that force, so it's a physics world, law, Newton's law of motion that states that. So for everything to have that, move, there should be a force, right? I can't get the words together right now. For all you scientists, I just said I studied marketing. For that, that inertia, that force that you apply for something to move. So for the scientists in the house, can you just put it in the right words? That thing that, because I was, inertia was. I never heard of the word. I never done anything about it. I didn't do sciences, and I was sleeping one day and I heard the word inertia. I've been looking for what. Yes, I have a strength in taking actions and executing. I know that, right? So I knew that if I want to teach anything, it will be in that light. Because never teach anything you don't know anything about. Coach Harris, yes, teaching speed reading and all those things. Yes, he's an authority in it. So you look at your life. What is that thing that you do really well? What is that thing that people look at you, man, the way you execute, man, the way you take action, man, the way I hear that all the time. So that thing that you always do and people are always commending you is a step to purpose. Why don't you go on that skills and then move? So inertia is that thing, that people have a problem with taking action. People have a problem with taking action. So it's that thing that stops. So you need an external force to push you so that you can move. So for me, that is the external for the book I wrote and the coaching program is an external for Coach Harry, I shared with you, one of the participants in Overcoming just bought an SUV this week with the principles, some things that they learned in class that she puts into action. So many of them registered businesses, started so many businesses because of the principles that they learned in that class. And this is the book right here. I don't know how many of you would want to get it. I don't have someone the book in Port Harcourt right now with the lady. I can drop her details with you. And in this book, it talks about dreaming. The first thing it talks about just dream. The last time I checked, dreaming is free, Coach Harry. But the problem is a lot of people are scared to dream. You do not pay to dream. You can just sit in your house and imagine how you build a house in Miami, travel around the world. Do you know that's how I started? I just started calling myself just to the world. I'm a global citizen. I'm going to talk to priests and kings. See, what are you saying to yourself daily? So that's what, because you see these principles, I started putting this book together. Just dream is the first chapter. Hey, are you dreaming? I know the issues of this world are hard. What's happening in Nigeria now will make people not dream. But I dare you, keep dreaming. And don't just dream any small dream. Big dreams.
Fantastic.
Be inspired to do. Totally, I'm rounding up now. Be inspired. When you dream, you will be inspired. And so that's where the initial dream came from. Hey, teach people. I was batting one and I heard the word inertia. I ran to my laptop, I put it down, and I saw the word, and I started reading up principles and things about inertia, and I'm like, yes, that is the word I've been looking for. That is why I decided to coach in that with that word, overcoming inertia. So everything that I'm doing is built around inertia. Thank you, Coach Harry.
You're welcome, man. So I have the scientists in the house dropping different definitions of that word, just like you asked them to do, and already they are even asking questions. I'm taking some of their questions down as we are talking, because you might not be seeing the questions as we're talking. They are asking, how can we get the book on? How can we get the book in Lagos? Is the book in soft copy? Can we get it online? So please, Coach Joyce, towards the ending of this session, you are going to tell us how we can get your book. I know you have written about now, if I'm not mistaken.
When you see opportunity like this, you bring all of them out. This is Back Against the Wall. That's my first book, and this is The Waiting Room. So you Back Against the Wall. This book, anytime I read it, I cry. It talks about my story, and the summary of this Back Against the Wall is: you don't have any excuses. My dad died when I was 11. And I had every reason to be a tomato seller. I had every reason to be a rose girl. I mean, in school, you know, Port Harcourt girls now, they invite me cults. There's nowhere. See, this money I don't have, let's go. You will get it. But I knew somewhere in my heart that my dad raised me well. I didn't want to get involved in police, you know, law court, prisons, and all that. And I decided, see, life is all about your personal decision. No one will take decision for you. You just have to decide. Do you want to be good? Do you want to be? Even our children, I keep saying that every day. You can take a horse to the river, but you cannot force the horse to drink water. So your child, you groom, you tell them, you say all stuff, you pray for them, but at the end of the day, they will go to school. They will go to America. They will go. So what happens at that time is their personal decision. That's why some fall into drugs and the rest of them. So at that time, I just made up my mind that, hey, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to be focused. I want to be good in life. I want to be heard. I want to be notable. So I need to do the right thing. And that's my core value, doing the right thing, ensuring that I don't engage in anything illegal and anything that will land me in jail or in prison. So that's why I wrote this, to inspire people that, hey, when your back is against the wall, what do you do? So very, very powerful book. Then The Waiting Room is the third one. So those are my three books. This one is like more like a guide, daily guide on how to live your life.
Fantastic. So, like I said, towards the ending of the session, you will let us know how we can get this. I have somebody already saying that he's ready to do distribution in Abuja and all of that. So we give us information about that probably towards the ending of this session. So back to our talk today, we really want to know how you were able to beat fear and you started doing everything that you have mentioned. The first question, I want to go back to the foundation or the root, which is family. I would like to know if you had parents or families members that model business to you. If yes, I need you to tell us about it. And if no, you need to tell us how you were able to catch that entrepreneurial spirit.
Okay. So yes, I like that question, Coach Harry. So my dad was a banker. He was, on his way to work one day, he was shot. That's story for another day. But what he was doing his normal banking. So I see people doing banking, banking, in this bank, they did not allow me to rest. They did not allow me. He was a banker and it wasn't easy at that time as well. He had a store in a bookshop. So you can see where the book thing is coming from. He had a bookshop. He decided to sell books, right? And in that bookshop, the bookshop is like 2 rooms, right? Like a parlor and a room. So in the parlor is where he used for the shop. So they display books and all that. In the room was like a factory. So in that room, he had a photocopy, the business center kind of thing where it was typewriter at that time. He died in 1990, so it was 1980 something we're talking about. A typewriter where they type stuff for people. They were making, that's where I learned how to make envelopes. They had stencils to make envelopes. And so it's like a factory where they make a whole lot of stuff, the files, different stuff that happened. And I'm in the front of the shop, I can remember vividly. He had what then? Well, most of, I don't know how many millennials are here. They used to have something like a filling station where they will have a tank. I don't know how many of you are oldies like me here. So in that tank, there's something you just, there's a part of it you just hold like this, and the thing will be bringing out the fuel or the kerosene. It has the meter. So it's like a manual filling station where people come to buy kerosene and fuel. That one was happening outside. So you can see entrepreneurship at his level, in his capacity at that time. So you have people managing it. When he comes back from work, he goes to them to see what they have done for the day. Then he comes back. My dad also, when he was going to work, because he was the area manager of the then Bender State in First Bank. When he goes to work, he picks passengers. He uses the money to buy his fuel. He's coming back, he picks passengers. You can see entrepreneurship. We buy our big cars and we are rolling and we are just going and we are flexing, we are playing music. We are not using that car as a tool to earn money. That was what he was doing. My mom was a petty trader, but she wasn't educated. I think that worried her a lot. But my dad was entrepreneurial. he knew what he was doing, he knew profit and loss. Of course, he was a banker, so you understand what that means. So that's for me. That's and then he loved knowledge. He was always writing exams, for crying out loud. Every time they are coming, then he didn't go to school. He was a cleaner in the bank. So this is to inspire someone. He was the cleaner. He decided to say, I don't go to school. What do I do? And he started picking the bank. Then they used to have this bank exam that they do from step 1 to step 2 until he became a manager. I think that's where I also caught the quest for knowledge from as well. So that's where I caught my entrepreneurial spirit, which I.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Mm-hmm. The second question I will ask, please, before I ask this question, I'm not the only person that's going to be asking questions. If you have, based on what you are hearing, you have questions, please, you can type. I'm taking down your question. We might not be able to ask Coach Joyce everything, but we'll just ask her the one that we can within the time that we have. The second question or third question I'll ask Coach Joyce is, Coach Joyce, you run multiple businesses today. Maybe you, first of all, you tell us about your first business. And then secondly, you cannot tell us at what point do you actually know that it is time to start another business?
Okay, are you done? Okay, so the first one is, which one did I start with? I didn't get that first question very well. Please just remind me.
The first one, tell us about your first business.
First business. Okay. Yeah. So I'm this person that some people did not. They know the cornerstone, or how do they say it? Where people just say, you understand what can this person? Actually, a lot of people thought I would be just that good worker, that person that will work all her life and all that. So they didn't believe. I never sold. Some people used to sell things in school, make hair. I never sold anything to anybody all my life. But I just knew. When I came out of school, after working, I knew I was going to work in corporate world, and I knew I was going. I don't know whether it's contract. I don't know what it would be, but I just knew something that I was going to do a lot of stuff in the corporate world. So when I started my first job, in that NIT where I worked, they also had schools where they train schools. I know that the model of what I'm doing, but at some point they stopped. See, do not despise the days of your beginning. In that place you're working right now, what are you picking? What are you doing? I mean, what skills are you putting together? I was piecing my puzzle together. It wasn't making sense, but I just kept going. And I moved to another place. I was headhunted from where I was, after a few years. And I think I need to tell the story so that, let me chip in this so that I don't know who this will hit. On the first day of work, they called, they employed me and some other people, and they asked for question. One of the profound questions that I was asked that still sticks in my brain today, they asked all of us, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And, they say, maybe as the head of department, maybe, little answers like that. Maybe a step further, maybe level 2, level 3, the grade 1 to 3, and all that like that. And when it got to my turn, I said to my then manager that the next 5 years, I want to sit on your seat as the manager of this branch. That was daring. And the man hated me for that particular response. That was like 5 years. How? Are you not going to pay your bills, your dues? Are you not going to climb the ladder? But sometimes the things we say unconsciously, you have dropped a seed, and that seed went for me. Do you know that man fought me for a long time? And when he left, at some point, he did something and he was sacked. When he was sacked, guess what? That was the period. Of course, you don't pray. The problem with Christians in Nigeria is that we pray and we go and sleep, expecting God to do the miracles. God is not a magician. You have to walk the talk. When you talk and you pray, what are you doing behind the scenes? I kept doing my work. I just kept doing my work. Like I was head bent. Even in the time of trials, when the man was engaging me, giving me queries, he just wanted me out by all means. I just kept doing my work. At the end of the day, he was the one that was fired, right? So I kept doing my work. They brought another manager, but you know that in 5 years, 5 months was the period they sent me to India. And when I came back, I became the manager of that branch. That kind of growth.
Wow.
I don't know how many companies we have it. So that was where, so when I started managing it and I started going out, representing them, making presentation, was after a while, I started learning the model of, the school IT training and all that. And at some point, I've gone to the height of that organization, like no next level to go to, no promotion again. I started looking out for myself, like, okay, let me go to the next place. And at the right time, another company came, headhunted me, and I went there. And in that same place, I worked in Champs Varsity. I don't know how many of you know Champs PLC. So they do all these cards and all that. They opened the training firm, and I was the head of that. I was the assistant manager of that until the person left. I also became the manager of that place. So that's where the training thing came from. And I decided to. When I left Champs, I worked in one place for 3 months, and I was like, no, this is it. What these guys are doing. So they brought me. The third company I worked brought me to come and create a training school for them because of my CV and all the places I've worked. And I started creating that thing. These guys didn't know jack about training. They didn't know jack about what I was doing. So I was challenged. I'm like, hey, these guys are using my head. And when are you going to do this thing for yourself? This thing you can do. And then I started. At some point, I just dropped my resignation. I said, I'm not doing it again. The whole world started begging me because I had a car, I had a driver, that all those specs that come with that kind of job. Everybody was saying, hey, who do you this kind of thing? Oh, my sister, prayer. My mother started praying. Family. See, people around you will try to stop you. Not because they hate you, because they are trying to project their fears on you. Coach, you know that my video. They try to project their fear because some of them couldn't achieve it, because some of them see it as insurmountable. So they are saying, hey, this one won't go enter ship, he go hungry. He go hungry. How he go take feed? If he need this time, leave this job, 250,000 naira. How will she live? At 2010, 250,000 is a lot of money. But I decided to take the bull by the horn. I said, if I perish, I perish. Let's do this. When I was doing my last job, my boss called me and like, you're going to do your own thing. Joyce, I believe in you and I know you'll do well. But peradventure, you find it difficult in business, come back. I will give you your job. The doors are open. You can come back. We will employ you back. You did well. So wherever you're working now, will you go back there tomorrow, 10 years time, and they will still open their doors for you? Everywhere I work, if I go back, I communicate to them. They just did you are aware of the documentations all of them are doing for me. They are writing letters recommending me, that things that I'm using in the US that I'm trying to relocate my kids and I to. So at the end of the day, where you are currently and where you started from, everything counts. It's part of your CV, so do not take it. So that's where I started my first business, right? That's how I started my first business. So I started going to schools, dropping my proposals, telling people I can do this. I've worked like in so places. So that is why where you are working as a platform, don't play with it. That's where you display your skills, what you can do. To not play. I took ownership. Anybody, if you have ever worked in an Indian firm, if Indian person give you 50,000, you have worked your blood out. If you agree, say yeah. You have worked your people spend money, they don't pay well. So for Indian person go to send you go abroad. They went to Dubai, they went to India. They gave us money to spend, dashing money, clothing money, eat free food. Slept, there. That's the first place I saw Airbnb. Stayed in the best place in India, and I'm like, my brain changed. Something in me shifted. When I saw Oyibo people serving me, when I saw Oyibo driving me, I'm like, this life I want it. Property is the bastard. Life, I cannot be your friend. And I started going for more. Anything that brought me to India, I must do it so that I will go to America, so that I will go to London, so that I will go to South Africa, Singapore, China, all these countries I'm calling, I've been there. But you don't sit down and these things will happen. You have to walk the walk. Coach Harry,
Fantastic.
let's
Fantastic.
drop it there.
So much energy from Coach Joyce. You need to have an ownership mentality if you are
Yeah.
going to go far. There's a connection
Mhm.
between where you are working right now and what you are looking forward to. Very, very important point. So, Coach Joyce, I have a lot of questions from my people. Antonia Dan. Antonia Dan, if you can hear me, can you unmute your mic and ask your question? Antonia Dan.
Okay, thank you very much, Coach Harry. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Sonia.
Yes, ma'am. I really enjoy everything you're saying. Okay, so apparently, your story is kind of it's sounding like my story because currently I am working in a place where we are into training kids to in tech. We go to schools like in your case too here in Abuja,
Mhm.
and then we furnish the
Mhm.
lab and all of that. It's a
Okay.
startup. And I also schooled at NIT here in
Oh,
Abuja.
fantastic. Wow.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good.
I schooled at NIT, and then it's a startup I am working with current. I understand we started when we had nothing. Is the startup I'm working with is into training of started when we had nothing. We had
I
nothing.
can.
Okay,
Okay, Sonia is breaking.
can you hear me?
You're breaking. Okay. Yeah,
Your
it's
line is
breaking.
breaking, but I think we can hear now.
Okay.
Oh, Antonia, we can't hear you now.
Just
The line is breaking seriously. I hope I'm not the only one.
No, it's breaking. It's breaking from here, though.
Okay. So, Antonia, I don't know. Maybe you have to.
Her line is breaking.
hello.
You will have. I forgot saying the same thing too. You will have to. Your mic is muted now, though. If you unmute your mic and
She
you
can
speak, it
type the
doesn't work.
question.
Maybe
She
you
can
have.
type the question since
Yeah.
her network is
Please type
good.
the question. Type the question. Yeah, very good. So, I asked the second question I asked you, Coach Joyce. I'm going to allow somebody else to speak. I have some questions they have typed, but before I do that, the second question I asked was at what point do you know that it is time to start a new business?
Oh, okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, the first thing I would say here is don't follow passion. Oh, when you don't have money, don't follow passion. Look, look for money first. So when you hear this motivational to say, follow your passion, follow, don't say not everything that where you hear that you take hook, like and sinker. You sift some, you shift some. The one that works with you is what. That's why I always say have a mind of your own. So the Infosys business that the school consulting thing is the first thing, and of course that one paved a way for me to do so many because the money comes in trend in bulk form, and I was able to start my second business. Where that the second business is like an event stuff for children because I just wanted to border my things around children, education, learning, and all that. So it's called J Max Event Center in Ibadan, and then we started, taking people. So if you have birthday party, then from there we bettered. We saw that people were coming and we're going to buy stuff from other places. We bettered a supermarket beside the event center. So that's like the third thing. So you ask at what point? So for the school for the school because I just knew I'm not a market person, trying to do no. Let me do for the school. I teach in children's church, and I know I have passion for teaching and for children. So I'd already had this school thing from my teenage days. Like one day I'm going to own a school, one day I'm going to found a school, and all that. And, that's where the school thing came from, and I bettered that one in Lagos. So for me, some other things, yeah, real estate. I started. I'm huge at saving. I have a strength for. If you see me buy something for 10,000 naira, that means I've just made 100,000 naira. I'm like that. So
Wow.
so
Wow.
when the business was coming, I was saving a whole lot. So at some point I had bulk fund. What do I do with this? I started buying lands. The land I bought like 4 years ago. I don't know if I shared this with you, Coach Harry, somewhere not too far from Lagos Business School. I bought it like 4 million. I just sold it for 15.5 million naira. So I am this person that will, buy land, keep them, buy land, keep them. So I built houses, put tenant beds. I'm not a tenant kind of person. So I discovered that I have to build and sell. So that's where the real estate thing comes. You can never hear me post about it. I use agents. I use until I'm ready to do it big time. But that is a business on its own. So I buy and sell. I build houses and tenants. One of my a new house I built in Ikorodu, somebody just paid. That's another business, whether you like it or not. So until was it Tony Robbins? I've forgotten one of the motivational speakers that said until you start the app. I've heard it from different motivational speakers. Until you're sleeping and alerts keep dropping in your account, you're a poor man. When you physically work and strive 24 hours, you are working, you are using your strength, you are not rich. But when you sleep and you see Allah, they are calling you from here, they're calling you from there. I'm tired of collecting naira. Coach Harry, that is why I'm doing this. I've registered. So I saw Kuleshori preaching at the Elevation Church today, and he put the name of his company. I put LLC. LLC is when you have the company in America, they call it like we call business registration limited is LLC. I say, I've seen another title, so I'm going to put LLC in front of my name now. I didn't know it was title, So starting businesses. So what I do in Ghana is agriculture, and also I have the Infosys digital solution there as well. To America, the IT thing, content creation thing, I'm trying to get into the real estate and some other businesses that, I know that I can do properly there in the United States. So, hey, some people think small, and in all your thinking, in all your dreaming, don't think within your capacity and your reality. Sit in your room and travel around the world. Sit in your room and aspire. And before you know it, one day, you just see everything come to pass, one after the other, if you are able to work at it. So at what point do I need to know that it's time to start business? Hey, when the time comes, you will know somehow in your spirits. Sometimes it's opportunity. You catching an opportunity. I don't play with opportunity. I do not play. When opportunity comes, I jump at it. There's a fashion stuff I'm currently doing. So you contact 13. There's a 14th business.
Please tell us about that fashion stuff.
There's a 14th business right now that I've not spoken about. So anytime I move and I walk and for those, I don't know how many people follow me here. I have a very good dress sense. For me, looking good is good business. So I always like to appear sharp and neat, and they say dress the way you want to be addressed. And when I put these things together, most of the time I create them. I create my Ankara styles, and I sit down and tell you, this is how you do it, this is how you cut it, this because I just draw it. It's just a gift. Somebody say, this guy, you do a lot of things. So should I throw away my gifts? Hey, because somebody said you are doing so many, excuse me. So I think I've been able to think that you are doing so many things. I know where I'm going and I need to move. So I just started creating, and you see people say, oh, lovely style. Oh, we like the way you did. Who made it? I said the tailor. But if you look at it, if you flip it over, it's not the tailor. I created it. So I was listening to a testimony in the just concluded program in Elevation Church, for those of you that know Elevation, and somebody was giving a testimony of how she wore the dress, and people were commending the dress, and she started giving people the tailor, which I always do. I always give them the tailor's number because I feel it's the tailor that created it. And she said that very day she wore the particular dress she wore, she actually created it. So she got to the fourth or the fifth person, and the person said she was giving the tailor, and when she got to the fifth person, she said, no, I created it. And they said, can you make for me? Yes, she collected that number. Another person, can you make for me? She collected that number. And as we speak, that business started January this year, that as we speak, she's created over 500 pieces of clothes, and she's in big business because of the thing that she was neglecting. So when she was giving that testimony, I screamed. I'm like, this is me. I'm like, how will I now enter into fashion? Because sometimes when I wear dresses and people say, I said, if I'm not in corporate world, I would do well in fashion. I used to post about that. If I'm not in corporate world, excuse me, that's an excuse. So I did a program when I just came back from the US like 2 weeks ago. So I did a CEO's program. I don't play with knowledge. So I registered for a management refresher program for CEOs. And when I got to that class, There's a particular dress I wore for my school graduation. When I wanted to go that day, I just heard in my spirit, wear this dress. I just wore this cloth like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I heard in my spirit, wear that cloth. Wear that. So I decided to put it on. When I say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. This is an instruction, wear that cloth. When I came in, everybody was all over me. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is nice. Who made it? I said, I made it because of the testimony I had. I created it and I gave it to a tailor, and guess what? Everybody was booking and everybody was trying to. So one of the ladies came to me in class. She's also a doer. Her name is Chino. So I'm like, can we partner? I have people that order things like that. We can get tailors to make these things. We can do this. And then we started writing stuff that we had the meeting 2 days later. As we speak, we are paying for the business registration this week. We have gotten errand people that will go and source for the material. We have gotten 5 tailors. And that's the birth of another business. I'm not the model. I'm not the one sewing the clothes. I am the one that has an idea that I need to create and give to the world. What do you have in your hands? The question I'm asking everybody, that you're thinking and overthinking that, oh God, you are doing for people, you are not giving them. Some of you have some of these skills and you are throwing them away, waiting for the big one to come. So, Coach Harry, that's how we started the 14th business.
Wow, amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I know you shared this with me 3 days ago, and it was like, wow. So what you are looking for is not actually out there, it's inside you. You just really need to learn how to look inward. That's exactly what Coach Joyce is saying. So I don't know, Kende Adefila. Kende Adefila, if you can hear me, I can allow you to speak now. Kende Adefila.
Okay.
You can unmute your mic. You have a question. Please, let's go straight to the question.
Please, how do we get the book?
The book, okay. So I'll definitely drop. Coach Harry, you have them in your platform now, right? So I'll pass
I'm not
the information. Okay, you're not sure you have them in your platform?
Yes. I hope so.
You have them. So I'll send the link. I'll send names and numbers of people to reach out. Then before the end of the show, I'll definitely drop my number as well for those that want to reach me.
Please, you have to do that because
in Nigeria. I'll do that.
I have
you're not in Nigeria. No, I think she said something. So the soft copy, you get the soft copy. For those that want soft copy, we have the soft copy here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Antonia Dan is saying she's back.
Mercy. Is that Mercy? Is that Mercy? So that I will know her name down. So just do an email. What's the name of the lady that just spoke? Oh, sorry.
Kende Adefila.
Okay, Kende. Okay. I think this thing just went to Kende. Okay. Who's asking?
Isley Williams is asking if you are doing one-on-one session. You have one-on-one session.
Sure. So I have a program called Overcoming Inertia. So there is a group coaching call. It's coming up in October again. Before that, because that one is a bit, I don't want to call it depends on what you call high, but there's a one-on-one for, there's a general coaching course coming up in September. We're starting the ad this week called Revent. Revent, for you to overcome inertia, you need to decide to reinvent. And the reason why you should reinvent is this. Are you okay with where you are? If you're not, if you're angry, but for you to move, you need to be angry about your situation right now. You know, and so you decide that no, I want more out of life, then you move. So that's why I came up with that course. I just reinvented in 2023. It's been a struggle. I had emotional attachment to a lot of things that I do in Nigeria, but I kept hearing in my spirit, but you said you are joyous to the world. You are joyous to the world. If you are joyous to the world, if you call yourself a global citizen, you cannot sit in your small comfort zone. You know, if you see my bed in my house, you see my office, you see I'm not going to start struggling in another country. And I heard in my spirit, you need to get out of your comfort zone and reinvent yourself. And so right now, I'm back to my NIT days where I was there as a counselor, working as a salesperson. I was attending classes, going into my class to, the IT classes to hear what the teachers are saying. So, I didn't waste my time at all. And some of those things are what I'm using now. I'm projecting my IT side in the US, and I got a lot of job offers from $200,000 to $300,000. What I'm just waiting for right now if my relocation papers. Once that is said, I have become a millionaire in dollars. Hey,
Fantastic.
what is that dream that you have in your head? That don't sit in that your comfort zone, that your small one car that you have, and you're saying you have arrived. You have not arrived. There is the world to conquer. Decide to conquer the world today, and you see yourself move. So that's it.
Amazing stuff, Coach Joyce. Please type in the comment section. Coach Joyce said, "Joyce to the world." Put your name there. It's Harry to the world. Put your name there,
Yes,
please.
so the
Very, very
world, to the
important.
world. Yes.
There's a world. There's a world to conquer. There's a world to.
Yeah.
Very, very important. Yeah. So, Coach Joyce, I will allow somebody else, Antonia, to the world. Okay, Antonia, please, for the last time, let us allow you to ask that your question. Please go straight to the point.
Yes, so
Antonia,
charity to the world, appointment to the world. I see all you guys.
to the world. Yes, and up to the world.
I love that.
To the world.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Thank you very much, Coach. Thank you, Coach Joyce.
Yeah.
Thank you, Coach Harry. So my question, and let me cut all the whole story short. My question now is, how are you? Yes, because you're currently running different businesses. How are you able to manage? Because I am at the verge, like I posted on the comments, I'm at the verge of closing down my business just to focus on my main hustle. Like, this is a business I have passion for, but it's looking as if I am distracted from the main hustle. Just yesterday, we had a meeting at the office, my main work. So the feedback was, you're not concentrating, you're not giving it your all. So I actually want to get it right. But hearing that there's somebody out there who is able to manage 14 businesses, and I know it's just one main hustle and a side hustle and a business, I want to know how you are able to manage those. How are you able to run? I know you started from 1 to 2 to 3 up to your 14. How were you able to grow?
Okay, so I ran my one for a long time, right? And I ran my one. So the way when I talked about passion and all that stuff, you need to grow your first company to a comfortable level so that if you try number two, so I have tried so many businesses that I'm not counting right now, and it didn't work out, and I shut it down. You know, I thought Coach Harry was going to ask what a question in that regard. So when it's not working, my dear sister, my dear brother. If it's not working, don't deceive yourself. The reasons why we start businesses is because we want to impact. For me, impartation is there, but at the end of the day, profitability, right? You want to make some money. And so if you are not making money and the thing is not working, don't deceive yourself, please. If you like, pray. If you like, fast. What is not working is not working. And one of the reasons why things we cannot go to that right now is: are you knowledgeable in that area? Are you really knowledgeable in that area? The businesses that have run and shut down most of the time are businesses that I did not learn. I did not, seek knowledge. I just delved into it because they say, is this business, when you put 1 million, you get, this kind of MMM thing. You understand? So at the end of the day, you get your fingers burned. So first of all, is it Antonia who asked that question? Hey,
Antonia,
learn about that thing. What are you doing currently? What's the main thing you're doing? Are you the owner of the IT training business? Or you're a partner?
Yes. I'm a partner.
Yeah, partner.
I'm a partner.
Okay. So yes. Which of them is paying your bills?
The startup is the IT startup.
It's paying your bills. For me, I think you focus on that, right? If that one is not standing, there's no need to start any other thing. That's the truth. I will tell you what worked for me, what I did. You understand? Before you start the second one, let that one really stand. Let it be able to, so that in case, I think the second or third thing I did not work and I had to shut it down. But guess what? This one, we've trained over 50,000 children over the space of 12 years. It's a big deal. That's in my CV when I put in US, they're looking like a god. But it's true. Out of every federal government college, at least a year, we have what is 5. I'm even trying to be conservative with the number. You understand? Only one school can have like 2,000 students, and so if you add that for 11 years, we are going to weigh 100,000. So the numbers for this IT business, the numbers is key. If you don't have a school with good numbers, you will not make money. So if you have good school with good numbers, that's where the money comes from. right? So you need to focus on that. Try to get schools with numbers and then ensure that they are all doing well. You are delivering and doing. I told Coach Harry we're in Abuja to that's the main reason I came for America to resign our contract, and we are going back again this week. I'm heading to Abuja on Tuesday or Wednesday because of the renewal of the paper. But if I'm not doing well, if I'm not delivering, they will not resign my papers. You understand? So you need to deliver on that one and ensure that you are making money on it before you now start spreading your tentacles. Fantastic, you can do any other thing, but then something should be paying your bills so that you will not have sleepless nights and be doing overnight. What do you call it?
Thank
So
you.
was I able to answer your question, Antonia? So the other one is fine. The other business is fine. If it's not giving you problems and you're not making profits, you can still keep that one. Don't shut it down. If it's not, you understand, if you are not making too much money for it and there's something paying your bills, you're good. You can still keep while you are building your customer, what is it called? Base on that one. And before you know, that one will start giving you money as well. But always look for a problem. Always look for a problem. When I'm starting the business, when I'm jumping on opportunities, I look for a problem to solve. That business that you're doing, so at this moment of that time that we have, you want to, can you still hear me? Like Nepa? Is it Nepa? Okay, but I think you guys can still hear me.
No, we can hear.
I'm fine. So if you're selling shoes at this time, you think people in this time of hardship and all that, you think people will buy shoes? You understand? So let's look. There's food. Everybody must eat. Whether we are hungry, we are happy, we are not happy, you must eat. So let's look for a business that will assure that even if times are hard, people will still buy it. You understand? Look for a problem to solve, and you'll be in business.
All right, Coach Joyce. The questions are too many.
Yeah.
God is going to help us today. People want to know how you are managing your business and family. People want to know how. Hold on, who is there?
One is saying a very helpful contribution towards the hash.
Please hold on. Before you speak, I have to call your name before you can speak. So I'm reading questions from the comments. People want to know how Coach Joyce is managing stress, because definitely there's a lot of work that has to be done if you are managing this number of businesses. They want to know how you are managing the business and also family. They want to know how you are even selecting, because it is obvious that you have to do a lot of delegation. You have to trust a lot of people in order to be able to do some things, because you can't be everywhere. They also want to know how you're able to select the right hands to do these things. I've just mentioned like 3 questions in one. I don't know if you can help so that we can cover more grounds. Business and family stress, selecting people.
Okay, so first of okay, so if I jump in or you remind me. So I will take how I'm able to manage the business structure. If you don't have this, I keep saying that if you run a business and the business is dependent on you to survive, to run, another, you are running a workshop, not a business. And you work hard for a long time. But I was in Nigeria for like the last 2 terms, and we just finished end of year, and people are hailing the new director of the school. Wow, where did you get this lady? In fact, she did a better job. That's what I was like. That means I trained her well. So if you don't have structure means there's an accountant. You won't be spending your money in here. There is a manager. For my full business, I have regional managers. I have the people managing the Far North, the Sokoto, the Zamfara. I have the people at schools in Abuja. For those that are in Abuja, there's Federal Government College Kwali. There is Abaji, the Federal Government Girls College there. I think we have 3 schools in Apo or so. We have 3 schools in Abuja. So there's someone managing that zone. So we have a school in Kogi as well. That person manages all that together. There's Worry, the South, Ibilo, Uromi, the people there that are managing. There's the Calabar end of it. So I have people stationed in this that goes to see are the systems working, are the systems not working. So I speak to my manager. I don't speak to everybody. The only time I speak to everybody is like a holiday period like this, where I sit down and I sit with every location to ask them what are the challenges, what have you done, what do you bring to the table. That is their KPI, appraisal. So sorry, you're leaving, we are replacing, we are leaving. So you need to, that's one of the reasons I'm here. You need to be on ground for your business. If not, people will run it down. How do you get the right people? We pray to God and look at competencies when we are hiring, you know. So marrying the job description with, you know, that person's ability. So when you are putting out your ads for employment, hey, be state it clearly. I did a course in operational management in Lagos Business School. State it clearly. What are you looking for? Sometimes as employers of labor, we are ambiguous about the person we are employing. Do you have these skills? If you say you want to sell akara, you are looking for a cook in your restaurant or your kitchen. Hey, what kind of cook? Is it continental? Is it Begiri and Amala? Is it Owo and Stash? Is it Bangas? You state it clear so that the person will tell you their competencies. Most of the time, what happens is there's a mismatch. Because you say, I
I'm
can
telling
cook, everybody will come with their cook. Do you know how to cook firewood? Do you understand? Do you know how to, let's be specific about the person and say when they come to test them, sometimes when they come to our interview, we have a computer there, hey, start identifying the parts of the components of the computer, start putting them together. You will be surprised. There's some people that went to, they say they have a computer, BSc in computer. I say, when I was, so somebody told me that when the lecturer was teaching this particular part, I was not in class. Excuse me? Do you understand? So you need to identify the right people and ensure that those people can deliver on the job. Yes, sometimes you can do a mishire. We kind of have to fact. You are fired in a nice way. You're fired. You don't need to argue. You have the authority. Sorry, I can't work with you. You're fired. You bring in the next person until you get it right. You know, so sometimes you will not get it right. Sometimes you get it right. But, you know, over the years, this is my 12th year doing business. So it's been what is it called? What do you call it? Merry-go-round kind of thing. Trying this, it didn't work. Trying that, it didn't work. But now I'm a bit stable because I've been burnt and I know what to do. And when I see the people say, so I'm as an employer of labor, somebody that wants to do a proper structure, you need to offer people some percentages sometimes. Like the person running my school, I offer that partnership. Because I've been trying the head of school thing and it wasn't working. But once I changed it to partnership, and I heard that in Lagos Business School, at some point, you need to offer partnerships. So I offer a partnership, gave her a percentage, and she's doing her work like she did. She's taking it as her own, running the race and ensuring everything is so that she can grow her percentage and earn more money. So in this journey, you have to collaborate. You have to trust people. When I talk to my people, I say you can eat money, you can eat and do all that, but then don't shut down the business. If you say you will not trust people, you can't go far. If you say you want to walk alone, you can't go far. You need to trust people. You need to bring in people and just open your mind. Because when you thief today, thief tomorrow, and the day you are discovered, just fired some people this weekend, you know, they stole, and no, but one day, they say many days for the tea, one day for you. And I asked for this, it wasn't there. I asked for that, it wasn't there. As a business owner, if you want to rule your world and go far, you will have to remove your eyes from so many things. Where is this Maggie? Where is this pepper? Where is you? There Maggie and pepper, and people are sharing millions. You understand? We are not saying people will not steal, but don't run down the company and ensure that you're not caught. Because the day you're caught, you're out. That answers all the questions.
Yes, you did. Fantastic. Fantastic. You did. So Joyce, my head is busting this night. You are saying so many things at the same time. Actually, I'm learning a lot. So you talked about structure. I think I'm at that stage.
Yeah.
Where I really need to put a lot of structure around what I do. And you have just confirmed something that I think I'm doing very well, offering partnership. I noticed that, in fact, from the very first set of people I began to employ, they are working with me based on commission. So you do this, you get this, and then this is what you get. And I see the way they are putting their heart to work, because if you don't get anything, you will. If you don't, if nothing comes out from your end, you are not earning anything. So it's as if when people have a stake in whatever is coming in, they tend to
Exactly.
so that's
They
another
work
reason.
hard, yes.
Enoch,
That's right up about Steve Jobs, about having 1% of, I don't know how many of you have come across that right up. It's better to have a 1% in $1 million company than to have 100% in one Quora company of 100,000. You are becoming big boss, you know. So it's
I'm telling you, it's fantastic. I'm really learning a lot, and I know that my people are also learning. Enoch Akinyemi says, I'm trying to look for that his chat right now. Okay, he said every great person has a good library or their library. I can observe Coach Joyce's environment. So that will lead me to my next question. Coach Joyce, please help me tell my people. You know, I'm into personal growth, I'm into transformation, learning, and all of those. That's my core, that's my passion. Help me tell my people how much you are spending on training. Like I let us not go to what you did last year. Maybe you just tell us this year, the ones you can remember for this year, how much you are investing. So people have business, they want their business to prosper them, but they don't understand that they are the ones that will prosper the business, and then they will not get the flow from the business. So I want you to tell us about your personal investments.
Okay, so if you want to go far, one of the things that I know that has helped me in my success journey is knowledge. I told you that how I was in my early days as an employee, how I go into classrooms to learn from. Because as a staff, you can learn for free. You won't pay, so you do your certifications by yourself. You pay for your certifications, and after taking some of those Oracle, Java, I didn't have any business. I wasn't in IT and all that, and I was like, okay, let me also read up these dumps and then go write my exams. And I started writing. I was like, whoa, these things are not that difficult. And so that's where my IT journey started. But one of the things I would want you to take away is when I was sitting in those classes, sometimes I would come weekends. And somebody asked about family. I will definitely bring that answer that before the end of the session. So I sat down and I was writing another. Some people in that were my peers did not. Why are you wasting your time? When are you going to use all these things? If I'm not in a seminar, I'm somewhere. I'm reading. I'm writing. Coach Harry asked of so why I brought that up is that when I was setting up my company 12 years ago, so some people got to, your enemies will fight you, and some people got to know that I didn't study computer sciences. Every other person were 21 that the ministry was trying to confirm as vendors. And then some people use that to fight me so that they can, they can get a lot of people off the list so that it can be just how many of them. And they're like, oh, everybody bring.
Okay, I want
it's
to put
fine.
on my gen. Just keep talking while I put on my
So
gen.
the people came and they were like, okay, so she didn't study computer science, da, 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 da. So they put that as a criteria. Like, so if you don't, so we want certifications, IT certifications of these vendors. I'm sorry if you don't have any IT certifications in your house. So they need to see people out, the contractors out. So when they asked for my own, I bombarded them. I had project management, I had Computer A+, I had Oracle, I had Java, I had MCSE. Because I was privileged to work in that place, I made use of every single time I had. So I started writing those. So sometimes when I finished writing some of them, I'm like, what am I going to do with this paper? That day, I blessed the day I started taking those courses. I started paying for those programs. And for me, that opened me up. That particular thing made me the only woman that survived 21 men and women. And we were just 7 that were selected as vendors to the Federal Ministry of Education. If you know how it is to get vetted to be one of the vendors of Federal Ministry of Education, you understand what I mean. It was a painful process, emotional, blood, tears, and blood kind of thing. And I made it. I was the only woman. Until date, I'm still the only woman in that group. So at the end of the day, when what was the question Coach Harry asked again, that made me say this story? I think I wanted to give a background before answering the question. I forgot if somebody can quickly tell me what he asked. I wanted to give a background story before answering that.
Yeah, how you manage your family and the work.
No, I was trying to answer a particular question of the family one. I was talking
How
about
much you spend on training?
yes, how
How
much I
much you
spent
spend
on
on
training.
training?
Yes, how much I spent on training. So this year alone, I spent over $5,000 on training. And I'll tell you how that 5K went. So when I decided that I wanted to go into coaching, the first thing I wanted to do was to brush up my coaching skills. I do a lot of freebies, one-on-one. So sometimes those things that you do for free, you are practicing. No, don't. So I've been doing pro bono for years. I've been trying to get into coaching for years, and I decided to let me. So I registered for the International Coaches Federation course. Is an international training, and it's about $1,000 something. I registered for the NLP because as a coach, you need to know how people behave. It's called neuro linguistics programming. How many of you know that or have heard of that before? I registered for that as well. That cost me another $1,000. I registered for a cyber security course because I want to project my IT side in the US. I registered for a cyber security course that costs another $1,500. I registered for data analytics. Now, these courses I'm calling now because of the background. The reason I went through that background story is because most of the things I'm learning now in these courses, I started discovering the things I've done in CompTIA A+, in MCSE, for those of you that are IT in class, like, oh, I did this in this class. So these things were not sounding strange to me anymore because I've done something in those things before. I registered for Coach Harry's course is part of it. So in total this year, I spent over $5,000. If you press your calculator, you know what $5,000 is.
Amazing.
So I want to say to all of you, when you invest in yourself, it's not a loss. It's for you. I'm telling you, it's for you, and you definitely will pay. So somebody asked of a family, yes, for you to do this kind of stuff, you it will take a toll on your family, but you have to become intentional. Intentionality is everything. I am so close because at the end of the day, it's more of the reason why you are hustling. What about the children? What about your relationship, your husband or your partner, and all that? Those are the factors we want to put into. So I have time for everything and everybody. When it's time for me to be with my family, nobody comes. On Sundays like this, I want to be with them. I don't go out. I take them out. We go for vacations, but they understand that this one is busy. Let's allow her fly because she needs to and support me. So if you don't create time, you schedule your time, this or that. But if you now, I know for the ladies especially, if you now marry the person that is not your friend, that doesn't want to support you, that is the story for another day. That is why we should think before we get into any form of relationship. I know guys also suffer this a lot. I've counseled guys that say, but my wife is not supporting me. She doesn't want me to do this. She doesn't want me to do that. So and before you enter into any relationship, is the person going your way? Will the person be able to stand your progress? If you're able to, can you live with this person for the rest of your life? You know that I had I had somebody say to the wife that I'm going to clip your wings. You're about to fly, but my friends are telling you that that I should not allow you fly. So I'm going to clip your wings and you will not fly. And guess what? He actually clipped her wings and she couldn't fly. So be very, 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 very careful when you are entering into any relationships and be sure that the person is ready, will be ready to take your success. Some people cannot take another person's success. I've been there, done that, got a few t-shirts. That's why I don't have many friends. If you want to focus, there are a lot of people you might have to drop. Check the people around you, check your relationships, check your friends, check family. Hey, who are you giving your ears to? At some point in my life, I was being dragged because I was hearing the wrong things, but I decided to drop. So at the end of the day, if you want 1K, you want 10K, you want 1 million, nobody. 1 million is too far. 10,000, nobody. But I'm like, no, I cannot continue this life. And I decided to prune. And right now, if I need 10 million, I have somebody to call. And now the dollar realm I'm going to call and they will give you, do your thing and you give back. That is the realm you should be going. So relationships, very important. Keep them. Long-term relationship, you think that the person is not going your way. I know say make you quarrel with them. Please do not quarrel with them, but just keep them in one side so that they will not derail you and you remain focused.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Coach Joyce. Thank you so much, Coach Joyce. Amazing stuff. Thank you so much. Let me allow, I have maybe 2 or 3 questions that I will take, but let me allow Emmanuel Sunday to speak. That guy has been on my neck. If I don't call that guy, there will be problem. Emmanuel Sunday, can you hear me? Emmanuel Sunday, if you are
Yeah, thank you very much.
Emmanuel Sunday,
Yeah,
all
thank you
right, go
very
ahead.
much. I probably may not have forgiven you if you did not allow me. That's on the lighter note. Good evening, Coach Joyce. It's been a very wonderful session. Quickly, I want you to please kind of guide and shed light on this. Now, you said something while you were talking in the beginning that for you to you need to first of all have a relationship with God, know God, hear Him, know His voice, know how He speaks to you, and then you must also know look for something that you know that you are good at, something that when they wake you up at any point in time, you can do it. Now, this has really been a challenge for me, honestly, for more than almost a decade and a half now. I have always asked people around me, what is that thing that you people think I do very, very well, and but I've not been able to get the answers, and I don't know how else I can fine tune what it is that I do, so that I can actually at least begin to just tilt towards that direction. I know that I do a lot of things, quite a number of things. I'm always very, very restless. I can jump to many things at the same time, but I know that even if I will have to do plenty of things, I think I need just to have a foundation first and then build on it. So how do I pinpoint exactly what it is that I do?
Okay,
Emmanuel,
what's your name, Emmanuel? So there's some things we cannot deal with in 2 hours, right? That's something we cannot deal. So your own is the root cause. So in my one coaching program, that's what I do. We go to your root cause. So your family, the day you were born, right? We'll go and look for that thing that is stopping you. We identify it, and you will be the one looking for writing your solutions by yourself, right? So it's not what we can just discuss here, because I need to ask some questions. We need to dig some things up before we can now start redirecting you to, okay, this is where we think you should go, this is where you think you should go. So yes, a lot of you like, but the beauty about what you said, that you do a lot of things. Multitasking is not easy. A lot of people negate it and feel like it's not good. But if you have the ability to multitask, it's a wonderful skill. And that's a skill in 1 out of every 1,000 people on earth. 1 out of every 1,000 people. So if you are able to use it well and use it to your advantage, you just see yourself soar. And I see, you heard of the Richard Branson. In case you don't know, Google, there's ChatGPT. How many of you know ChatGPT? Google Richard Branson, you hear how many businesses he has. So for me, the challenge this man has, I made 400 and something company. How many do I have? Do you understand? You can do more than one. You can do more than two. You know how to do it and do it well. So Emmanuel, we just need to go back to the root cause, and then so get my contact at the end of the day. I will guide you on how we'll go about it. But you need a one-on-one session. That's the truth.
Thank you very much.
thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach Joyce. Please, there's something that we must not forget, and that thing is to ensure that Coach Joyce gives us her contact, social media handle. Somebody's already asking of your LinkedIn profile and all of that. So everything around your social media, I would like to know, because we want everybody on this call to follow you and see
So
what
as I am Joy to go for LinkedIn, just type my name. Joyce Bosu for Facebook, Twitter, Threads. How many of you are on Threads, or you are still thinking is 666? They are among the people that are saying not join the Threads. So on Threads, I am at Joyce Bosu. Please follow right now. I'll follow you back. So you see what I post. I post daily content. I post this. No day I don't post content that will inspire you. If it's just for that one, just be getting your motivational content. It's fine. So on LinkedIn, Ambassador Joyce Suboso. On Facebook, Ambassador AMB Joyce Suboso. Then the other ones at I am Joyce Suboso. So Facebook, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, what do you call it? Threads, LinkedIn, Twitter.
Fantastic.
as well. Just
Fantastic. All right, so Coach Joyce, talking about social media, maybe that will be the last question that I would ask. I see some people raising their hands. Then maybe I'll mention their name. We'll ask before we close. We normally do 1 hour, but we are stretching 2 hours because it's an amazing session. We don't know when we'll have you again in our midst. Talking about social media now, I have some of my people that are not taking social media serious. In fact, if for instance I say our next meeting, somebody, not Joyce Ugosu, Joyce Ugosu.
No, I'm just Ugosu, UGBOSU. I can see some people following me already. UGBOSU. I'm online now looking at my page. I can see some people following me already, sending me questions already. So it's a quick way to get your questions answered. For those of you that might not be able to ask me questions here today, please, you can just slide into my DM and then ask questions. Yes, so Shari, you can go ahead.
Fantastic. Kingsley Williams is saying, I love this lady already. Your fan base is increasing in this house.
Please let me to drop my number as well, but don't call me midnight. I'm a family woman. But you can just simply drop a WhatsApp. I might not respond immediately because in a day I can get like 1,000 messages, but I definitely respond. I know as I go along.
Fantastic. So, Coach, just coming back to social media, I have some of my people that are joking. They are still playing with social media. They've not understood the power of social media. Sometimes I try to take people out of their comfort zone. I can say today we are not using Zoom. We want to use Google Meet. I can say let's do Twitter Space. You see how people will be fighting it because they are not conversant with that platform or they are not used to it. How has social media helped you on your journey? Please, we want to know.
Okay, so my brothers and sisters in Christ, I don't know if we have Muslims here, whether you like it or not, social media has come to stay. If you are not found on the internet, on any of these platforms we just called, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, if you're a career person, my brother and sister, go and join LinkedIn. And make sure you have a proper profile. I mean, I know the offers I've gotten, contracts I've gotten, speaking engagements I've gotten from LinkedIn. Very, very important. If you want to move your career forward, you need to go and, make sure that your LinkedIn profile is with the right headshots. Right? So I'm doing a relocation thing now, and most of the views I'm getting, most people checking me out now are from the US consulate, US, what do you call it? There's a particular name they call the one in the US. They are checking me out, and guess where they are going? LinkedIn. Somewhere in LinkedIn, you can view the people that are viewing your profile. So very important. And when you go to LinkedIn, not be where they shake waist and wear bomb shorts. Right? It's a serious, they don't want to put a useless post there. Knowledgeable posts, things that that will make people take you seriously. Put your fine CV there, what you do, articulate it. And before I go to the other ones, visibility is key in this world, where we are finding, especially after COVID. If we were not on social media before COVID, fine, it's good. We are not going to tell you to join social media because you are led or because you are a Christian or the Lord say, we are saying you must be on social media. You should be found. For my school, most of the students that register in my school, Lakewood British School, are from social media. No referral from anywhere. It's because of, what, people are saying about the school, but most of them is social media. So social media is for visibility. That's why I put it. That's where you're able to express yourself. Your personal brand is being viewed, your perception about you, whether people are able to do business with you. Everything is on social media. Now, if you now join social media, you cannot be quiet. You can be quiet in physically with your spirit.
Thank you.
But you have to be heard. You have to be seen. People need to know that you are there. So you, from time to time, is that you commenting on people's posts, or you can't just view and go. Like sometimes you have to be, especially people that you want to be like, for me, that's where I go there and comment on their posts, knowledgeable. You know, then the person will take note of you. Ah, this person is very intelligent. Oh, this person, and then before you know it, the person is following you as well. So for now, Coach Ari, let me just round up. From now, the days that we're in, if you are not on social media, you are missing. Like you are years behind. So you will need to take social media seriously and try to, you should be found in one of the medias, but LinkedIn, if you're a career person, LinkedIn is very important. Instagram, Facebook, and the rest of it is very important. And don't be a ghost. You have to say something, you have to speak, you have to post something. Very important. One of the assignments I gave to people in my boot camp the last time, I noticed like 50% of them were not on social media. So I had to get them to open their social media handles. They shared and followed each other. I gave them tasks. They came up with live videos. I'm telling you, they came up with
Wow.
What's it called? They featured each other. They featured each other on online, and I gave them topics to discuss, and that is how some people broke the jinx. Right now, some of them are on social media. They are doing podcasts already because of the assignment that was given to them during the bootcamp.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Coach Joyce. Thank you so much. Okay, somebody's mic is not muted. I'm trying to. Okay, I've done that. Yeah, so Coach Joyce, I'm going to allow others to ask questions, but thank you so much for the comments on social media. What I do tell people is simple. I think I was reading Matthew chapter 5, where Jesus said, "You are the light of the world, the salt of the earth." I think in verse 16,
Hey,
it now says, "Let your light so shine." The key word for me there was "so shine." Some people have light.
yeah,
Their light is under a bushel. They
there's
are
no
very good
time.
at what they are doing. Nobody's seeing them, nobody's
Yeah.
hearing them. You have the responsibility to
Mm.
ensure that your light so shine so that people can hear. When you read the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you see Jesus leveraging on platforms so that his voice can be heard. Remember, those days there were no microphones and all of that. How did he
Yeah.
encounter Peter? He said, "In your boat."
Mm. Mm.
What does he need boat for? He needed to be on top of the sea so that the waves of the sea can carry or amplify his voice. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, we hear him teaching on the mountain. He needed to be at the place where the space there on the mountain can amplify his voice so that people can see him, people can hear him. Coach Joyce have already said it, don't hide yourself. If you hide yourself, nobody will see you.
Yeah.
Project yourself. You have
Visibility
to
is key. People
very,
are
very
making millions from social media, so why should you be left out? That's the truth.
exactly.
YouTube,
Just follow Coach Joyce. Follow
please
Coach Joyce
ensure that you
on
are in those places
Instagram.
to seek for information. I'm not saying those things have their, what is it called, negative sides. Yes, they have their negative side, but ensure that you're there. When you see me online, I'm there to post something, maybe read up one or two things, and I'm off. Control is key. Some people cannot control themselves. Enter there, do your business of the day, and move. Don't be
Exactly.
there scrolling at people's success, hailing other people, commenting and hailing, watching Big Brother, what do you call them, what they do and all that, and then you are not doing anything for yourself. Online, what are you doing for yourself? What are you selling? Looking at people online, what can you do? What is that person? That when you look at everybody that you follow, there's someone that is doing something like Antonia is just saying, I see me in you. So if I identify that, why am I following Coach Harry? I'm like, oh, this guy loves knowledge and I love knowledge. We have something in common. I like we that here. It's like my brother right now.
Fantastic.
So when you see something that you love and you admire, no, the reason why a lot of things, good things don't come to people is when they see what they like. What they do is they got very well, or maybe he's doing X, Y, Z. Are you sure he's really reading this book? They say a lot of negative things about the person. It's of, say, I really want to be with this person. How can I connect? Admire him. I want to. Then you connect. And before you know it, you guys are doing stuff together. Do you understand? So when I look at people that I love, I follow them, I try to connect. You want to listen to me now. Antonia buys my book, right? And maybe some person, let me just call any name. Sunday, not you. Sunday doesn't buy my book. And Antonia calls me, and Sunday calls me. Who do you think I will really listen to and provide solution to?
Antonia, of course.
So you got to. I want to be my mentor, and you have not bought the person's book. and you didn't do anything to connect with the person. There's one thing you do. Okay, for Coach Harry, I had to buy speed reading. I've been reading all my life now. I'm like, what this man? I'm just intrigued. What is he doing? I really want to go and see what he's doing. This is speed reading. And in fact, in the next first 2 days, I'm like, guy, we are together. Give me your other course. If there's another course he's doing, he's doing another one for me right now. He knows. And then we're there. So I will keep paying for value. That is it. So if you know you got value and you say, oh, Coach Joyce, what's the name of that your course? I want to connect more and I want to do this. I want to get the book. Because reading my book, there is a connection. People read it in the US and they are connecting. In fact, I tell you that I wrote to a publishing house and they are telling me to send my manuscript and all that. When you say international, when you say global, you cannot be playing local. You cannot be looking at what is happening in Nigeria economy. Do you understand? I gave you the story of what I saw in US and I'm like, there's more to earn, to conquer and all that. So why are we here? Why are we thinking small? You understand? So that's it. You have to be seen. You have to be heard. You have to, be sure that you're online. When they type your name, what do we see? When we Google you, you love very important. So when you after this session, go home and type your name on Google. Let's see what will come out. Type just Boso on Google. Just type just Google. You will see stuff and you'll be like, only one person. I get that all the time, Coach Harry. So you have to be seen, you have to be visible.
Fantastic. Wow, thank you so much, man.
You have to be doing the right thing, doing the right thing, Coach Harry. Some people are still doing the wrong thing. So when you type my name, you never say anything negative. Very important. If you type Tiwa Savage, what will you see? The next part. We all know what happened to her, how she was careless with her personality. You type Aro Kelly. Currently, that's like the most pitied person that I pity in this world right now. And I pray for him every day. After all that stress, what happened? So one bad thing, we just scatter everything you have worked for. So let's all be intentional. How we live our lives, how we ensure that it's just that good stuff and that positive perspective that we want the world to see us, that is put out on social media. Oh, hey, never joke.
Don't worry, we know you're in Nigeria, this is US. We understand. So, Coach, don't worry, we are okay with hearing you. And maybe before the gen comes up. So the point here is you need to be a creator online, not just a consumer. Very important. So we have this 9:40 already. Let's see what we can do in the next 10 minutes. I want to take questions from maybe 2 or 3 persons. First to Sunday, Emanuela. First to Sunday, Olusegun Wale. These persons I mentioned, if you are still here and you can hear me, please unmute your mic and speak. Go straight to the point. We have just 10 minutes. Let's see what Ojos can do for us. Olusegun Wale, are you there? First to Sunday. Emmanuel Agbola, are you there?
Okay, I'm with
Emmanuel,
you.
your mic is muted.
Yeah,
you
good
need to
evening,
unmute
sir.
your mic. All right, go ahead, Olusegun.
Thank you for this privilege. And thank you for your contribution so far. My question is very, very simple and direct. I want to find out, when you are starting up a business, you have been able to stabilize it. There could be 1 or 2 challenges along the path, because every greatness in life, there's always the challenges. So I want to ask Coach Joyce how she was able to, confront those challenges that come across her way, and how she was able to overcome them, based on, principal things that she did that made her to come out of those challenges based on principle. Probably if she can share that, I think it will go a long way to help people. Because success in life, I want to believe there will be 1 or 2 challenges that will come across, our way.
Exactly.
So how she was able to overcome them based on operating on, principle. That's just my own.
Your question is clear. Your question is clear. Go ahead.
What's his name again? What's his name? The person asked the question.
Olusegun Wale.
Olusegun Wale.
Yes.
So we eat challenges for breakfast. right? So the thing
Yeah.
is, if you do not, like even Jesus said, he didn't promise you a storm-free life. What he said is that I will be with you in the midst of the storm. If you have that at the back of your mind, you just hold yourself. So in my weekly what's it called, my the waiting room last week, I talked about riding the storm. You might need to go to my Facebook or Instagram to view that, riding the storm, because we're in a stormy season right now. What do you do to navigate the storm? That one is there. So there I talk about giant slayers. For those that are following me on Facebook and Instagram, it's fresh. It's there. I just did that in the last 1 hour. Giant. What do you need to do? Giant slaying secrets is what I tag that one. So there are things that you need to do to live. It's not a 10-minute talk, my brother. So if you have the time, you can just go there to listen. I'm a podcaster as well. So I put a lot of these solutions, what I did, So for me, the first thing I would say is mindset. What is your mindset, my God? If your mindset is about losing, right? If you're scared, if you think that when I get to this problem, it will kill me, overwhelm me, it will overwhelm you. But I'll just give you the David part of facing challenges. So I assume Goliath to be everybody's challenges, a mountain. It was 9 feet tall and all that. That's a mountain that David had to cross at that time. Number one thing that you need to do to face challenges is courage. Don't run away from it. Face it head on. What is this? Identify it. What is this problem? How can I surmount it? David looked at Goliath and he said, hey, you can hear me, right? This is Nigeria, so if you can hear me, it's fine. He said, hey, what do I do to surmount this challenge? Okay, first of all, they gave him helmets, they gave him big clothes, they gave him armor and everything. So what I said in that place, don't go and fight your battle in an unfamiliar ground. The thing is, a lot of us fight battles that we don't know anything about. When he won that thing, he said, hey, this helmet is too heavy for me. This thing is too, and he said, remove it. I don't know about this. I've been in the bush, killing giants with my bare hands. I don't need this armor. I don't need this sword. I know what to use. I have an instrument. Have you been honing your skills? I'm asking your question now. Have you been honing your skills? In that place where he was in the bush, tending to his sheep, that guy was killing lions, right? If you know the David story. He was breaking things with his hands. That is honing your skills, knowledge. If you find out that you have a problem about something, check. Maybe you are not knowledgeable about it. When I teach my Inertia course, the first thing I teach there is knowledge. For you to fight inertia, for you to go ahead with your life and become successful, you must be knowledgeable. I don't do any business that I don't know anything about. I don't have barbing salon or go and do beer parlor or go and do. I don't know anything about those things, and I like impact. In the visa category I'm doing, and let me just share this with you guys for free. You must have it. It's called EB1 for the extra people that are extra gifted. Somebody running 13 business is extra gifted. So I fall into that category. And so one of the things they're asking is the business you're doing, does it impact life? So sometimes we find it difficult because sometimes we're not called to do the thing that we are called to do. And one of the things, fighting your giants and slaying this question you ask is, are you anointed for it? I just talked about David at the beginning of this session where I talked about him being, so when they identified that one person is missing and David came back, he was anointed. That means for you to slay a giant, for you to fight that thing, you must be anointed. That position that you're sitting on now, that thing that you're doing, are you called for it? Or you are sitting in another person's care? You are the only one that can answer it. So sometimes we find ourselves in some kind of issues. Hey, check well. You are sitting on another person's seat. You're not called to do it. The reason Coach Harry can flow with his speed reading stuff, hey, it's because he is called to do it. When you hear him teach about it, you know that this guy is called to do it. When you hear me in my Inertia class, you will know that I'm called to do it. A lot of people in Nigeria didn't hear that, they have not heard of that word inertia before. It was when I started talking about preaching the gospel of inertia that people knew that So this thing that is stopping me is called inertia. Okay, let's deal with it. So, sir, if you're not called to do it, you will struggle. Remove fish out of water and watch it die in seconds. So you're not in your place of calling. If you are not anointed to do it, you will struggle and you have challenges upon challenges. But peradventure you think you are called to do this. How knowledgeable are you? You fight problems with knowledge. I'm telling you that a lot of things I didn't know and I paid. Ignorance. You will pay. If you think education is cheap, try ignorance. You will pay more. Cheap is expensive, I tell you. But you are able to know. If you take out time to study it, if you run courses and trainings on it, at the end of the day, you say, now this thing, this hotel, they chop my money. You call mechanic, you come and do one that miracle in front of your back, bring 10,000, bring 15,000. But if you know one or two things, he will not collect that kind of money. Do you agree?
Yes, correct.
So knowledge is key in anything that you're doing. Then courage. What you say to yourself. You have achieved something in life. When I want to go into a new task, when I want to present or do something that I think is very heavy, this is a mantle, what do I need to do? I try to remember those things that I've done before, the victories, and I try to Joyce, you did A, B, C, D. You can do this. So think of it, I did this before. I should be able to do that. That will inspire you a lot. And go back to God. Thank Him. Thank Him. Jesus broke bread. Right? He gave thanks before he broke his bread. In the midst of scarcity, he was looking at these 5,000 people. How do I feed them? Where is disciples and a lot of people are seeing the scarcity? Somebody identify the problem. That's another solution. Identify a problem, a need that people, something that people need, and try to solve it. You're right. So then they identify, say, but there's someone with 2 fish here, but I don't know how far it will go. That is our mentality. Lack. So if you're able to identify something, what did Jesus do? I just love the Jesus story. See, any motivational speaker, a writer, anybody that you know, a consultant that you know that is big, they are using the Jesus story. Let me let you know now. Go and what's them? Maxwell, just name them. John Maxwell and the rest. Name them. All of them are going back to this principle. The problem is most of us, we don't even read the Bible. We don't read any of this, and that's where these books that you are buying, they're coming from there. If we're able to go back and just read, even if it's one scripture per day, one, you don't have to read the entire Bible. Pick one and read this thing. Dwell on it. I was reading that David story this morning, and I screamed. Something jumped at me. But if you don't read it, how will something jump at you? When I talk about relationship, very, very important. Your question is very clear. We can see the passion with which I'm using to answer. The answers are there, given. But the problem is we are so focused on the challenges that we are not seeing the results. We are not seeing the answer. If you're able to dig up these things, then you get your result and you just can start smiling. That is why I started with we eat challenges for breakfast. Has it come? Oh, what color? Wow. What size? Let's deal with it. And then we go ahead. So you become stronger.
Thank you so much.
Your muscles. You are building your muscles. Anytime you become victorious, you surmount any challenge, you notice that you have become more successful because you can refer to it at any time. I beat this giant the last time. This one looks like it. So I've dealt with you before. And then you wave it off and you go to the next one. So you see that you are attaining victory and you are climbing your ladder of success by the day.
Wow. Thank you so much, Coach Joyce. Thank you so much. I'll be asking the last question. Maybe before we take Coach Joyce's contact once more. But in addition to what Coach Joyce has said, whatever it is that you are going through today, you always remember that there are people that have gone through, that same stuff, and then they were able to sail through. You need to look out for somebody that has the results that you actually want, and that's one of the things I love so much about Coach Joyce. Like I said in my introduction, to some my add-on on Instagram or Facebook, she clicked the link, registered for a group coaching session. After the second session, registered for my one-on-one, still on speed reading. Do you know that as of today, Coach Joyce paid again for the third course with me? What are we trying to do for Coach Joyce right now? I think in last month, I mentioned that in the month of August, I was going to be helping some people to discover, help you discover exactly what you should be doing create marketing systems around it, training courses, and all of those stuff. It's going to start tomorrow. That's exactly what we are doing with Coach Joyce right now. So Coach Joyce have been able to discover what her own niche is, and she has written books around it. She has even created her courses around it. Now we are creating marketing systems for her, so that on a daily basis she's not going after people. People are attracted to what she's doing, registering for her courses, and then whenever she wants, she just onboards them and then she does her training. So I'm saying this to mean that whatever it is that you are going through, somebody has gone through it. You have one of the major ways you can, scale through is to look out for that person and be humble to that person, because Joyce is very, very humble. Be humble to that person, be willing to learn, and then you get what you want. Very key, very important. Coach Joyce, before we allow you, it's already 9:52. I don't want us to exceed 10 o'clock. Please, lastly, from my own end, after now, we are going to allow you to call, because some people are still saying that they didn't see Instagram, they didn't see you here. We are going to allow you to take that.
Instagram. I'm on
You
Instagram.
are going to do that.
People are already following me now. What did you think?
Some of them are saying.
What did you?
Some of them are, so maybe we'll write this spelling
Just
correctly.
to go to Coach Charlie, you can help me type it now.
So Coach Joyce, please, lastly, from my own end or from everybody here, tell us about your America experience so far. Maybe you tell us about, because I know it's not today you got that whole notion of relocating and all of that. It took you a while. Tell us about the fears you needed to deal with, and so far so good. At least you have stayed 2-3 months. You came back now. Tell us your experience. I'd like to know, because some of us are also planning to relocate.
So Jackpa, no, the word is Jackpa. Because do you know I'm doing a book on that? Jackpa Chronicles is what I call the book. Because of my experiences and what I'm seeing. So I don't want to say is this person's story I'm using. I'm using my own story. And experiences, what people need to know if they want to travel. So I'm on that book. So my experience, for first of all, is the first thing I put on that book is what's your Japa strategy. You should have a strategy if you want to Japa. You should have a strategy. The problem with a lot of Nigerians over there is that they did not go with any strategy. So all they know how to do is seek for asylum, how to get their papers, seek for asylum, do the arranging marriage thing, and they're stuck, doing the healthcare job, wearing diaper for old people, cleaning their bum, and they're like, if you say we want to rate it with 100%, 90 or 90% Nigerians, that's what they do. That's what they know. That's the information they have. So, but I noticed that I went with. So when I went there, I knew I wanted to relocate, but I was like, what do I really want to do? So I travel and come back, travel and come back. But when the things showed me that it's time, I started putting things in place here in Nigeria so that when I leave, everything will still be running. Number one. Number two, when I got there, I started looking for information. I discovered that information rules the world. It's on this Japan matter. If the first person you meet matters a lot. The information the person has is what will keep you where you are. At ground level, middle level, or soaring. So for me, I always like to be around people of knowledge and all. So when I went there, you follow my story, so you know what happened. I said for a while, and all these asylum people came. Asylum is a lie. So you're going to say that in Nigeria, somebody's about to kill you, your father's your husband, your here, so you cannot go back to Nigeria. There's war. You like the big lie. So that they will not give you paper, right? That's one. Another one that a lot of people use is marriage. You go and marry somebody. I mean, pastors do it. And I'm like, what kind of a pastor is this? They will lie and get married to another person while their wife is waiting here. Another, 10 out of every 10 of that arranging marriage thing, there's only one that works, for your information. The rest, wahala. That boy said, problem. So, but for me, I didn't want all that. People offered me that, do this one, marriage thing, come for $18,000. You're going to say this one, that one. I said, no. What I heard, when I say hear from God, I mean it. What I heard in my spirit is, Joy, don't do anything illegal. It will hurt you at the end. And you're going to struggle. And I know my desire, I know my pattern. Most of the times when I do things, when I help God, Helping God. Going to do marriage, arranging marriage, you are helping God. Two of us. Going to speak for asylum, you are helping God to solve your problem. So when I help God to do stuff, I suffer. Right? At the end of the day, I lose my money, I lose something just happened. It doesn't always go well. So what I did is that I started seeking for information. I started seeking for, so I went for a program in Dallas. I paid almost $1,000. I think add down to the 5,000 I was working to go for that program. And in that program, within 10 minutes of entering that camp, I got the solution to the problem I was looking for. So there's a video I did about what is it called? Movement. Coach Harry, people should have that. They're all on my page. My YouTube, please follow me on YouTube as well. Just type Joyce Bosu. If you put Joyce Bosu on Google, it will bring out all my pages. For those of you that know how to do that, just put JoyceBosu. It will bring out all my pages. It will bring out YouTube. So I went to that program, paid money, attended, and in 10 minutes of that program, somebody walked into a room. Before I went to that program, I prayed and I said, God, I don't want to come back to the same. I want to have solutions to problems. I want to get new insights. So when you go for meetings, you go, do you pray about it? Tell me, Jimmy Taylor, I don't know how many people know Jimmy Taylor that just relocated to US. He was the one that walked into that meeting, and we started talking. I never met him before in my life, and I told him one or two things. I'm like, okay, I can lead you up to somebody that did my own visa with my friend Steve Harris, Bankole Williams, all those set of people, emotional doctor, just name them. All of them, they have just do. I don't know what you have. If you have not started planning, please plan by the side. So like pastors are going, everybody's going. Why am I still here? So that guy gave me the link to what I'm using now. It's called the EB1 visa, and that EB1 visa is for the gifted, people that have done a lot and made a mark, won awards, So those things I was doing in my inner room, and I thought it wasn't making. You must have written books as well, I thought it wasn't making sense. Those things started counting for me. I mean, Bankole, somebody said Bankole, he has the O1 visa. They are all citizens of United States, and so he gave me those links, and then I started going. It linked me up to the person that did theirs, and that's the person that is working mine for me. Yes, it's not cheap, and it's a lot of work, documentation. But guess what? What I heard from God, do something legit. At the end of the day, I have political career. If Nigeria politics no suit me, I can decide to go to American politics as a citizen. The only thing I cannot be is a president, but I can be any other thing in their own politics. So as a citizen, I'm able to run for office. But guess what? If I had done that marriage, I done asylum. Do you know if I come and say I want to become a mayor or anything, somebody will just go and bring my paper for me and say, yeah, you lied and you cannot. And America, they have a way of finding you out. So in anything that you're doing, hey, ensure that it's legit. You heard from God and it's time. And one of the reasons I said it, I knew that it was time. When I got there, I started getting information, timely information that would lead me to where I was going. I met great people, went for fairs. A lot of Nigerians don't know about educational fairs, they don't know about trade fairs, they don't know about job fairs. I went for fairs in New York, in different cities. I was moving, I was getting information. And right now, the information I have, I'm just waiting for my paper. I will be a millionaire in dollars within 3 months.
Wow.
Amen.
So that's it. Information from the world. And you must move. You must move. You can't stay on place.
Thank you so much, Coach Joyce.
Thank you, George. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I've gotten so much value tonight. It's one of the I think it's most interesting family meetings that we have had. You brought so much energy to the house, so much information, so much revelation. We started with in less than 20 minutes. We started with 100 persons, and almost everybody's here. We are 95 here because definitely because they got value. Another thing I noticed is like the version I paid for, because I'm not on the free version of Google. It's like the version I paid for limited me to 100 participants, because I see that some people are trying to join. 100 are finding it difficult to join. So maybe in my next family meeting, I'll have to do an upgrade so that we can have more than 100 persons. But thank you so much, Joyce. That's a very
Thank
amazing
you.
session.
I'd
So
love
much
to hear from them. I'd love to hear their feedback as well. So
that
my number, some of you can send your feedback to my number. So let me give you my number,
yeah.
0706. My number is not a secret. I'm an open book and open person. Okay, but Coach Harry, how do I catch these feedbacks that they are throwing? I can see some powerful feedback there. How do I catch them? If you can catch them for me, please do catch them for me. So 0706 128.
All right.
So somebody can type it there.
Please
0706.
get a number. Somebody should type in the chat, please.
Please help me type it in the chat. 0706 128 7117. 0706 128 7117. So 7117. So you can drop
Yeah, 0706128. Yeah. Okay.
VAT. You have to
007061817.
go and sign
All right.
128
Thank you so much, Charity.
7117.
Charity
Yeah.
has it in the
Thank you.
Charity has it in
Thank you.
the
Thank you,
chat
Charity.
section.
Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody is asking that please, that's our WhatsApp. So
Yes, that's WhatsApp.
please,
That's WhatsApp. So drop me your feedback. Drop me your feedback. If you have questions, further questions, please drop them
go
there as
ahead and
well.
ask those questions. Please let's draw some
Please
emojis,
follow
some
me on
love,
YouTube. Follow my podcast. Podcast is very
some
free.
love emojis, and
Follow all of that. So then for the books, so Charlie, those of them that want the book, please, you have my number now. You can just reach out to me. I'll tell you how to get. We have them in major cities. Then that person that said Abuja, please contact me. The person that said he would want to do that in Abuja, please drop a message that you're the person. I would also love to speak with you.
fantastic. So we are going to also get the recorded version. We'll drop the link so in case you want to listen again. Coach Joyce has given you her number, so you don't have any other. If there's any other thing that you're not getting, you find it difficult, social media, just ask. Her one-on-one session is open. She talked about September. She's going to be having a boot camp in September, overcoming inertia program. Please, as you chat her up, you can even register now. Join the waiting list. We're already in August. In the next 1 month, that program is going to kick off, so that you can tap more. Everything she has said so far, there she needs to show you the how. Hold you by the hand and show you the how on how to get some of these things done. So it is very key, very important. You must learn how to connect with people. Yes. So it has been an amazing session. Thank you so much. I'm seeing your love emojis for Coach Joyce.
I can see
Yeah,
them
thank you
as
so much. Merci,
well. Wow. Thank you.
Olusegun Wale.
Thank you
Thank you so
so
much,
much.
Manuel, as well.
Thank
An
you so
amazing
much.
session.
Thank you
Thank you for
so
your
much.
time. Thank you
Thank
for your time.
you.
We
Thank
don't take
you.
this for
Thank you.
granted.
Thank you.
Coach Joyce, you are the VVIP in our midst tonight. You have done amazing well. Thank you for pouring out yourself.
Thank you. Thank
You
you
know,
so
there are
much.
people who come for your sessions like this, they just give you very. They talk up, but you are not like that. You told us your journey with us, and I
Yeah.
have been blessed. I've been blessed. I know that others also have been blessed. Coach Joyce is the marketplace apostle.
Yes, so very important. Very important. Shine. When we hear shine your light. Anywhere you are, you need to shine your light. You need to shine your light. Yeah.
First of all, you have to
Yes.
discover that your light, and then you now have to
Yes.
shine light. And that's exactly what we are doing here. So, for those of us that are here, maybe it's your first time, you've not gone through my speed reading certificate program. I don't know what you are waiting for. You need to go through that program. Secondly, the program I talked about helping you to the business of your talent, helping you to discover a profitable niche, marketing system, projecting yourself out there, online courses, writing your books, and all of those stuff. We are starting in August. Tomorrow, those that are already in the group, they are going to get a breakdown on what the month is going to look like. If you have not made a commitment, you need to do that tonight or latest by tomorrow. So thank you so much, Coach Joyce. I need to allow you go now.
Thank you so much.
Coach Joyce had
Coach
her
Harry,
own
thank you so
program.
much thank you so much for this platform. Thank you. I do not take it for granted. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you everybody for listening from beginning to the end. I hope I impacted. I hope you got value. I love you all.
We love you
God
too,
bless you. See you all at the top. The top
I
is
love you
lonely. The
too.
top is
Bye.
actually lonely.
I love
I
you
need to I need
too.
to
Good
see you all. I
night.
love you too. I love you. All right. Yeah, bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you very much. Much
Bye.
appreciated. Yeah, hope to
All
have
right.
another time with you.
Yeah, thank you. I see you,
Oh,
Alami.
Charlie, this night
Thank
meeting
you.
is fire, 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 fire.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I'm
you,
for
Coach
good.
Harry. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome.
God
You're
bless you,
Thank
welcome.
Coach
You're welcome.
Harry. It was such a beautiful session. Good to be with you.
Thank you, Wally. Thank you. Amen.
Thank
Amen
you,
to all your prayers. Thank you. Thank
thank you,
you.
Coach
Thank you.
Harry. You just blew my mind tonight.
Uncle Kevin.
Please send
You're
the record.
welcome. You're
Send the
welcome.
record to the record version.
So, so much.
Thank you, Coach Harry. It was really a fire rise section.
God
Thank
is
you
a
so
fire
much.
rider.
Thank you so much. Good session it was. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. Amazing
Thank you
feedback.
very much, Joyce. It's a pleasure meeting you one-on-one, and also